So how do you prevent your bike from being stolen? Well, the truth is nothing's going to work 100% of the time, but there are some things you can do to put the odds in your favor. Before we discuss how to gain advantage over bike thieves, we can take a quick look at the variety of common bike locks and security devices used to protect bikes. There are multiple bike locks like a U-lock, cable lock, disc brake lock, folding lock, throttle lock, zip tie cable lock, the old-fashioned lock and chain, plus a variety of alarms and GPS trackers. With just a little research, you can find the pros and cons of all these. So the question is, how do you get an advantage over the bike thief? We're going to discuss 3 things to give you an advantage. Make sure you watch this to the end because the third thing we discuss is going to give you the greatest advantage to deter bike thieves. And I will show you personally how I apply it to my bikes. So the number one thing you can do is be aware of the location that you're locking your bike in. Is it in a public area or is it in a secluded area, making it easier for private access? Is your bike within earshot of other people? So if there's certain sounds or noises going on that someone's going to notice it or hear it, like a bike alarm or someone trying to cut it through something. If it's in the evening, does it have proper lighting to make it harder for your bike to disappear in the shadows? You just have to think about all these things just to give yourself an advantage to deter a typical bike thief. So the second thing you need to do is pay attention to what you're locking your bike up to and what part of the bike you're using to lock it up. Don't use trees or fences or anything that can easily be cut through. Your bike becomes more of a target if it becomes easier to remove it from whatever you attached it to than the bike lock itself. So make sure you attach your bike to items that cannot be easily removed. Also, don't use your handlebars, seats, or tires. Those things are usually pretty easy to remove and will make your bike an easier target. Okay, so finally, the third thing you can do to gain the most advantage over a bike thief is using multiple types of locks or security devices. I'll talk about what I personally use here in just a minute, but first let's talk about 2 categories that I put locks under. Category 1 is heavy, strong, and more secure locks like the U-lock, the cable lock, the chain lock, even a folding lock. Category 2 would be the lighter, smaller, not as secure locks, like your disc brake locks, your throttle locks, your zip tie, cable locks, stuff like that. While all these are a great deterrence and offer their own pros and cons, the truth is a skilled bike thief could pick and break into any of these locks. That's why you need to combine a Category 1 heavy-duty lock with even 1 or 2 lightweight Category 2 locks. And the final thing you need to do, which is the icing on the cake, so to speak, is add a cheap, good old-fashioned bike alarm. Now, if you're like me, you might be saying, well, some of these things are too big, too heavy. I don't have anywhere to carry all these items. Like, it's just not feasible for me. So let me show you what I personally came up with that's lightweight, easy attached to your bike, and will help deter bike thieves. So the first thing we're going to look at is my folding lock called the Z Fold X. I consider this to be my Category 1 lock. I got it on Amazon for $130. While that might sound expensive, let me tell you some of the features this lock has first. Now, as you see on my bike, I don't have a lot of real estate to attach many things. This does fit in this small section here. Otherwise, there's not a lot of areas you can really put a lock like this on my bike. So it comes with a key and case, an anti-theft alarm, a fingerprint reader on the front here, and it also has an app that you can connect to, which you can arm and disarm, lock and unlock it just like you can with the fingerprint reader or the key, which goes into the side here. I'm not going to go into great details on this lock, but it does have a lot of features that it's packed with. I also carry a simple folding lock on my electric e-bike. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of the Z Fold X, but it still does its job. So for my Category 2 security lock, I use a throttle lock, which is also sometimes referred to as a handlebar brake lock. These are small, lightweight, and very easy to install. I personally carry mine in my tools pouch. It fits in there nicely. It's very small, lightweight. They simply add the extra layer of protection to help deter a bike thief. The more Category 2 locks you add, the more difficult it becomes to remove one of these and steal your bike. So even if some of these look easy, dumb, or simple, combine them and they become time consuming and make it difficult for a bike thief to remove without getting caught or being seen. Okay, so back to the icing on the cake. The third and final thing I use, which is just a cheap bike alarm. They are extremely loud, draw a lot of attention, and are very sensitive to any type of vibrations. So if someone bumps your bike, it'll just set off a brief alarm, which I'll show you here in just a second. If they continue to move it or do anything else to it, they go ahead and set off the alarm. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this works. So I unplugged my mic so you can hear this, so I'm talking a little bit louder, but we're gonna go ahead and arm the alarm. Someone comes up and bumps it, just gives a warning. Gives another warning. Now that I have my neighbors wondering who's trying to steal my bike, as you can see, it does work very well. It is very loud, but that's a third deterrent and it works wonderful. I also would suggest you put this in an area that's not easy to access, so that way it's hard to find and remove. Using all three of these security devices should prevent any bike thieves from stealing your bike. In the event that someone would actually be successful, I would highly recommend you get some type of tracking device that you would put inside your bike. Again, hide it somewhere to where someone would be able to find it easily or notice it. Apple AirTag or Samsung tags, something of that nature. It will help you be able to recover and find your bike's location and contact local law enforcement. I don't recommend trying to go recover your bike by yourself. Always contact law enforcement and have someone go with you. This video has been helpful. Please feel free to subscribe. If not, that's okay too. Just give the video a thumbs up.